Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we're here with the Monday Night Raw review on a Tuesday afternoon. Had some family things come up last night, and then today I was like, you know what? I think I'll still give them that Raw review. I'll come on here today. Got to be solo, no Nick today, because, I just kind of sprung this in the middle of the day, so he's not available, but it's all good. I'm going to run down Raw last night. If you guys do want to text into the show to get your thoughts heard, 510-906-1341 is the text message line. 510-906-1341. Won't be taking any calls, but we'll be reading them text here on the air, on the live stream here. So, let's see who's in here with us so far. We got Joshua Porter, Zombie Doom, No Laura, Raging Red, Garrett Coop. What's going on, everybody? Spotty Boy, Said Hassan, Nicholas Altamore, Chris Tube, MTG Mesmer Hart. What is going on, everybody? So, we got Nicholas Bronson here. What's going on, Nicholas? Woken King Slender, King Barrett. All right, so Monday Night Raw last night kicked off. Two graphics, in memory of Nikolai Volkov and in memory of Brian Christopher. After that, we got basically a recap of what happened last week on Monday Night Raw with Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns in the main event. And then, we got Brock Lesnar. Well, Brock was shown backstage with Heyman. Got a mixed reaction. Seemed mostly negative, which is what they want. They want a negative reaction on Brock Lesnar. Where was I at? He was complaining about... Oh, Roman then came. And Roman comes down to the ring, gave Miami a shout out, and he gave credit to Bobby Lashley for going toe-to-toe with him last week. And he said Lashley has earned his respect. He said that's more he can say for Lesnar, though, who has no respect. He complained about Lesnar never showing up for work, but having plenty of time to go to the UFC and confront Daniel Cormier, which he actually said Daniel Cormier, which was kind of interesting. So Paul Heyman then interrupts. Paul Heyman comes out, said the definition of insanity was doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result every time. Heyman suggested that Reigns should be sitting in a padded cell instead of getting another shot at Lesnar. And the crowd cheered about that. Basically, he was just like, you're obsessed with Brock. You're obsessed with wanting to take the title from him. You're going crazy, boy. Heyman then gave us one of his quote-unquote spoilers. He said, Lesnar will beat you and retain the Universal Championship. He will then take it to the UFC and become a two-sport champion. Crowd booed at that. Reigns told him to shut up and bring out Lesnar. Heyman said, Lesnar's sitting in the back comfortably in his locker room, and he's going to come out when he feels like he's going to want to come out. Reigns then said that if Lesnar even bothers to show up at SummerSlam, he'll send him back to the UFC, not as the Beast, but as Roman's bitch. I like how Roman Reigns still gets to use that B word. Nobody else gets to use big words like that, so... And that's how the segment did end. The crowd was behind Roman for this, so it's like, ooh, wow. I was shocked. I was very shocked. So then we saw Seth Rollins backstage putting on his headphones and getting hyped up for his match later in the day with Drew McIntyre. We then saw Ronda Rousey as she was speaking with Natalya. Rousey got a big pop when she was shown on the screen. We then see Brock Lesnar sitting in the back reading the Backwoods Man magazine. Never heard of the magazine before. Don't know if it's a real magazine or not, but anyways, Heyman said, you see what happened? And Brock just goes, I don't watch the show. Paul, why would I watch the show? And then Heyman's like, well, you need to hear what Roman Reigns said about you. Here, I'm going to play the audio on my phone. Just click play when you're ready. And Brock looks at the phone and he goes, what is all this crap? And he whips the phone right across the room. And he laughs. And Heyman's just like, that was my phone. Brock, what? And yeah. He just went back, reading his magazine. So then we had a 20-minute match that should not have gone 20 minutes. It probably shouldn't have even happened with Finn Balor and Baron Corbin. This match was a nothing match. Baron Corbin basically took 95% of this match. He was just the whole time beating on Balor and beating on Balor. He would beat down Balor, put him in a rest hold, go to commercial. Come back from the rest hold, or come back from the commercial, still be in the rest hold, beat down on Balor. Balor would maybe get a move, like a drop kick or something, and then he'd get beat down again. Finally, the end of the match, you did see Balor drop kick Corbin out of the ring, then into the barricade. He gave Corbin another drop kick into the turnbuckle, but missed a coup de grace. Corbin then bounced up, hit the end of days, which was like 50 swings in a row. Like he's really putting emphasis on this end of days now. Before he would grab him, he'd do like a 360. Now he does like a 720, 1080. Anyways, he pins him, clean pin, 1-2 right in the middle. There you go. 20-minute match that should not have gone 20 minutes. Very long. Balor sold most of the match, like I said. And then after the match, just to put the final nail in Balor's coffin, Corbin runs back in. Balor tried to fight back for literally 2 seconds before he was tossed outside of the ring. Clubbed over the head repeatedly against the barricade. And Balor sold it like he was just completely knocked out. Very, very horrible. Nicole Paula says, Lesnar lives a couple hours away from me. From I do. Trust me, it's a real magazine. Gotcha. I'd never heard of it before. So we then see Kurt Angle backstage as he approaches Paul Heyman. And he's like, Paul, Lesnar needs to go out to the ring. And Heyman's just like, no. His contractual obligation was that he shows up. And Kurt's like, no. He needs to appear on the show. Which he did, because Heyman could have just said, you've got cameras on us in the locker room. He's appearing on the screen. Which, anyways, Kurt was just like, you don't just work for Brock Lesnar. You have a contract with the WWE. That contract is under my jurisdiction. He basically told Paul, if you don't get Brock to the ring by the end of the show, you're fired. And Heyman just gulped and was like, I'll do that. So WWE then congratulated themselves on hitting 30 million subscribers on YouTube. They then aired a video package of Stephanie McMahon and her big announcement of the Evolution pay-per-view from last week. We then see Alexa Bliss backstage with Alicia Fox, where she was basically trying to hype her up, saying that Mickie James is injured, so you're my handpicked replacement tonight to take on Natalya. Yes, that overhyped rookie will be at ringside. Don't worry about her. So, with that, we had Alicia Fox versus Natalya in a 5-minute match. This was the top of the hour segment. Fox got the heat after catching Natalya between the ring and the ring skirt. Natalya came back with a basement drop kick and a discus clothesline for 2. Then Foxy hit a Northern Lights suplex for a 2 count. That's the one thing that Alicia Fox has got. She's got an amazing Northern Lights suplex. I'll give her that for sure. Fox then took out Rousey. She took a swipe at Rousey. Got Rousey on the apron. This distraction allowed Bliss to get the cheap shot on Natalya. Fox gave her the big boot and went for the pin. So, hey, I don't know exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess it's all to build. I guess, well, Natty still could have won here, and they still could have built to next week's match because Rousey then took off her jacket, ran after Bliss, and the crowd was very excited for this. She got her hands on Bliss, but Fox got in the way. Rousey gave Fox a spinning Samoan drop and went back after Bliss, but again was stopped by Fox. So here's my thing with that. She does that Samoan drop to girls, and she just lays them out. At least she has in the past. Then she does it to Alicia Fox, and Alicia Fox is just fine. Kind of made that move not seem as devastating as it once was, in my opinion. I don't know if anybody else here agrees. But it's just like, you just have Alicia get up that quickly after you've tried to use that in the past as like your devastating finisher. I don't know. So Fox then grabs Ronda Rousey and spins her into the barricade a few times. Then she backed away with Bliss. Rousey was in the ring to check on Natalya. The crowd chanted for Rousey. So, I don't know. I didn't like... The match was okay. I didn't like how she took that Samoan drop and then just was up. Woken Kingslayer said Alicia will be fed to Ronda next week. Yes, next week. We did learn later on the show that next week it will be Alicia Fox versus Ronda Rousey in her first ever Monday Night Raw match. And the funny thing about this, I don't know if there's any coincidence to this or anything, but if you remember back at WrestleMania weekend, people had a little too much to drink. Alicia Fox was one of them. And there's video proof that she got in the face of Travis Brown, the husband of Ronda Rousey, and was just yelling at him and screaming at him and saying profanity and all these different things. They were like, you need to go back to your hotel room. She wasn't even allowed in the building for WrestleMania the next day. So I don't know if there's still heat on that. I think Ronda will be professional and not try to, kill Alicia Fox in the ring next week. But if Ronda does look a little stiff, a little more stiff than normal, you may know why. Got some text messages here. 718 says, do you think Heyman will turn on Brock at SummerSlam? I mean, there's the possibility. They've done it before. Survivor Series 2002 when he turned on Brock and aligned with the Big Show. Another one from 214 says, do you think Paul will turn on Brock, setting up a Roman heel turn? Now, I can see him turning on Brock, but not a Roman heel turn. They don't want Roman to be heel. 267 here says, I don't care anymore about the Universal title or Raw anymore after last night. At least Heyman can manage someone else and get revenge on Brock later. Very true. I just don't know who. Ooh, Kristen McNutt with a $5 Super Chat donation. What do you think of the new team, the Boss and Hug Connection? I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit once that does come up. I do have some things to say about that. But thank you for the $5 Super Chat donation from Kristen McNutt. So, after the Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss, and Natalya, Alicia Fox segment, we go backstage again. Heyman's in the locker room trying to convince Brock that he needs to go appear in front of the crowd. Lesnar said, I don't give a crap about the WWE universe and would rather be at home on my couch. He told Heyman to get him a medium well steak, baked potato, and steamed broccoli. And Heyman left. We then learn that later on tonight, we will be seeing Braun Strowman taking on Jinder Mahal. We will also see Banks and Bayley teaming up to take on the Riott Squad. Backstage, a furious Ronda Rousey was basically yelling at Kurt Angle. She's like, I want Bliss. Bliss and her friends are just screaming at Kurt. She's like, I'm not suspended. Give me a match right now. And Kurt's like, next week, you can have your first ever Raw match. It'll be against Alicia Fox. Crowd lightly booed because I think they wanted to see a match with Ronda tonight. I mean, that's what I would assume why they would boo. We then have Elias in the ring. Elias spoke about the success of his album, saying that he beat many major stars in the music industry. And he said it wouldn't have, hold on. He said it wouldn't, sorry. He said it would have done even better if not for Lashley, who interrupted him last week when he was trying to plug his album. He then called Lashley a loser. The crowd was completely behind that, and then he turned on the city. He said Miami was the same town that worshipped a pit bull and a low life like The Rock. The crowd loudly chanted for The Rock, perhaps thinking maybe, since we're in Miami, he'd appear, but I think he's currently filming Jungle Cruise, so he couldn't have been there, and he didn't appear. Elias said The Rock wants no part of him. He was about to sing when he was interrupted by Bobby Lashley. Elias said, oh, did you come out here to sing with me? Lashley said no, but the crowd said yes. Elias then began singing and told Lashley, jump in whenever you want. So he starts going, singing Rockin' Robin. And he's going, and sure enough, Lashley jumps in, Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, tweety, tweet, and Elias kept on playing, and every so often he'd jump in, and then finally he messed up the words. And so Elias gets to his feet, and he strikes him from behind. Lashley fought him off and suplexed him. Elias got out of the ring, ran away. It was a good segment. I didn't think it was bad. I think, here's the thing though. You bring in Lashley, and he does a comedy deal with Sami Zayn. Doesn't get him over nothing. Then he goes into a big program with Roman Reigns wanting to be the number one contender for Universal title. Starts to get him over. Makes people think, man, this guy can be legit. This Bobby Lashley guy can do some good things. And then when he loses that feud, he's right back to comedy with Elias this time. It's like Bobby Lashley needs to be a guy that's taken seriously and just a badass kind of guy. And for him to just be in all these comedy skits, comedy gimmick, or not gimmicks, but comedy segments and feuds, that's two already. So we'll see how it all goes. But we then had Kevin Owens backstage. He had a water bottle and a towel in his hand. And he's like, congratulations, Baron Corbin, on your win tonight against Finn Balor. You know, ever since last week, you're my son's favorite wrestler now. He walks around in a dress shirt and a vest, trying to be like you. He was trying to suck up to Baron Corbin. He was like, tonight, Brock Lesnar's here. What's going to stop Braun Strowman from cashing in before I can win that briefcase? And he was like, you need to help me. And Corbin just looks at him and goes, to be honest, as of right now, Braun Strowman can do whatever he pleases with that briefcase because it's his briefcase. Hands him back the towel, hands him back the water bottle, and was just like, it's not my problem. Because contractually, it isn't Corbin's problem. It says the holder of the briefcase can cash in at any time. So whether he cashes in before SummerSlam or after SummerSlam, whatever. It's not like Stephanie said, all right, Kevin, you got that match with the briefcase on the line, and the contract's null and void till after SummerSlam. That wasn't the case. So, well, we'll see. I had an idea, but it's too far gone. So, we have Jinder Mahal and Baron Corbin. Match, minute and a half, count out victory for Jinder. Owens appeared at ringside and had Strowman's contract. Strowman ran after him, so Owens chucked the briefcase to Sunil Singh, who was then leveled by Braun Strowman. Owens ran to the back, and Strowman began to chase after him, which led to the count-out victory of Jinder Mahal. Strowman then marched back to the ring once he realized what was going on, and Mahal escaped. Strowman was super mad, and the crowd was into it. We then see Kurt Angle on the phone backstage with Stephanie McMahon. Couldn't hear her, but you hear him saying, got it. I understand. We don't want the main event of SummerSlam ruined. I'll make sure to take care of that. And he hands the phone back to Baron Corbin. 313 says if Roman versus Rock is a supposed plan for... I'm going to say this right now. I know where that rumor came from. It's called a fantasy booking on the part of Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. Everybody ran with it as a story. I hate when people do that. When somebody like a Dave Meltzer will suggest something and say, hey, maybe they can do this, but I don't know if they would. People run it with as a story. As of right now, from what I've heard, it's not the plan. And if it is, they're keeping it very hush-hush. All it was Meltzer saying, hey, people on Twitter are suggesting this. Maybe this is a way they can do it. He fantasy booked it. He didn't, and he prefaced that he doesn't know if that's a plan or not. It's just something that he was thinking of. So for everyone that keep going, oh my God, Roman versus Brock is going to happen, or Roman versus Rock, that's no. As of right now, no. But I gotta give another shout out to Kristen McNutt for the $2 super chat donation, saying Kevin versus Braun will be worst match ever at SummerSlam. I don't know about that. Let's see. 559 over here says, do you think Owens will win the contract and cash in at SummerSlam because of the Hell in a Cell rumors? Probably not. I see Braun coming out victorious at SummerSlam. Steven Engblom in the chat says Edge will find a way to cash in. It's a good one. Tyler Wester says last night was a good time. They could have made Strowman cash in. I mean, they could have, but that's not the plan. The plan is for Roman to win the title at SummerSlam from Brock Lesnar, because that's the big thing that they've been building towards. He can't beat Brock. He can't beat Brock. Finally, he's going to beat Brock. 313 says it's funny because once Meltzer said it, a million places started posting it like true. Exactly, and this happens all the time. Somebody like a Dave Meltzer will say something, and then all these other quote-unquote news sites will run it as a fact. And so people that don't understand where it actually first came or the context of where this first came from, they think, oh my God, this website, I'm not going to name any names, but this website ran it as a story. This must be true. But it's not. I mean, maybe it can be, but for all we know, it's just a fantasy booking thing. So, going forward with Raw, Mojo Rawley confronted the, I guess you could say, lower mid-card or lower card guys in the locker room. We had Mike Kanellis was back there, and Zack Ryder and some others, and I think Kurt Hawkins was there. And he was just like, oh, you guys want to talk and talk and talk, be keyboard warriors, but you never want to do any action. You guys are going to be like Tyler Breeze and No Way Jose, who I've taken out in the past. And he gets in Zack Ryder's face and goes, isn't like this guy who I've taken out before too. And Ryder laughs, and then you hear, and Bobby Roode walks in. So Bobby Roode walks in the frame, and he's just like, and Mojo's like, you got a problem with me, Bobby? And basically, he was like, you gonna say another catchphrase that's gonna put me into submission? And Roode doesn't say anything. He just tackles him, double leg takedown, and they just brawl. And all the guys in the locker room are cheering for Roode, just standing there, not pulling him apart until officials and referees come in there and pull him apart. I thought that was very funny as they were egging him on, like, go Bobby, get him Roode, go, go. And usually, you see that in the locker room or whoever the roster guys are, split them up. Not this time because the old Mojo was talking crap. Woken King Slender says, Mojo Rawley, king of the undercards. Nice one. So then we have forward Apollo Cruz and Titus O'Neil. So, no, Apollo Crews with Titus O'Neil and Danny Brooks, against Akam with a Razor. Very quick 2-minute match. Akam ran shoulder first into the turnbuckle. Crews caught him with a schoolboy for the pinfall in less than 2 minutes. And that was it. Authors of Pain. Supposed to be this big, bad, brooding tag team. Made to look like geeks since coming to Raw. So we then have, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. 9-10-minute match. McIntyre caught Rollins on a dive attempt early in the match, then catapulted him throat first into a metal railing under the ring. Basically, he caught him with a dive, slammed him down. He was kind of like throat, head under the ring, and he did the whole catapult little deal. Rollins was perfectly fine, basically instantly. Got back in the ring, hit 2 dives. Like, really? Really? Rollins then hit consecutive super kicks and went to the top rope, but McIntyre caught him with a white noise off the middle rope for a 2 count. Let's see, where was I? Rollins then rolled through a reverse Alabama slam attempt and got a near fall with a cradle. Immediately following the curb stomp, Ziggler ran in and caused a DQ. Rollins fought off Ziggler, gave him a suicide dive. Rollins was then announced the winner, and that was it. Not a bad match until the DQ, but I get what they're doing with this. Someone's going to eventually come and help Seth. I don't know who that's going to be, whether it's maybe Dean Ambrose or Jason Jordan. Somebody's going to return, or somebody's going to, out of nowhere that you're not expecting, come help Seth. Maybe Chad Gable. I don't know. We then see Roman Reigns. He's watching something on a tablet, and Kurt walks in. Kurt and Corbin. And he's like, you need to leave. Stephanie said that I must remove you from the building, or else you lose your title opportunity. And he's just like, what? No. That ain't going to happen. Reigns said that Angle was a champion. He's an Olympic gold medalist. And he wasn't just a yes man. Before Angle can respond, Corbin said, officers, escort this man out of the building. And Angle was like, was that really necessary? And as they're walking out of the room, the officers and Roman turns around and punches Corbin right in the face, knocking him down. They all leave. We then had a sponsored video by Sonic the Drive-In, not Sonic the Hedgehog. And it was tonight's superstar, or Legend of the Night or something like that. It was weird because they keep doing all these different sponsored videos, but they're never the same. It's not like 1 week it's like our Raw history moment, or 1 week it's our Legend of the Night, or 1 week it's, our da-da-da-da-da moment. It's never the same. I remember back in the day, they used to do these, and they were at least consistent from week to week. They would be like our Snickers WrestleMania moment, leading into 2 months leading into WrestleMania. They'd do that every week, or our Smack, or our Stacker 2 Smack of the Night on SmackDown, where it would be like something that happened last week on Smack. Anyways, that's whatever. They also so the Legend of the Night was Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. They then plugged that tonight on 205 Live, we will be seeing Cedric Alexander taking on the Brian Kendrick. Charlie Caruso was then in the ring, and she was interviewing the B team. They were just like, we're so happy to be Raw Tag Team Champions. B now stands for Dream. I was like, what? At least when you said B stands for best, that made sense. They were just like, our dreams have come true with becoming Tag Team Champions. We're undefeated since becoming the B team. And they also had Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt appear. They were just like, you got lucky. They said that their success was a cosmic anomaly. Wyatt said, dreams were fleeting, but nightmares were real, and they were the B team's nightmare. Hardy said that they would haunt them until they were deleted. And this is when the Revival comes out. Revival comes out there. Scott Dawson wondered why these two teams were the top teams. He said, Dash, remember when we beat both Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns? He was like, we deserve to be the top tag team. The top guys, because we beat top guys. Then it looked like, I guess, I don't know exactly how this went down. I'm trying to remember. I didn't write this down. But it was like, it was both the Deleters of Worlds and the Revival were going to try to attack the B team at the same time. So B team move and they attack each other. Big brawl ensues. B team leaves and we go to commercial. Come back and we get the Revival versus Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. It was an alright match. Revival did end up winning with a Shatter Machine on Bray. Dallas and Axel were on commentary and complimented the Revival's in-ring ability, but doesn't love fists as much as the Revival do. So we then have backstage Renee Young interviewing Seth Rollins. He told Renee that it's frustrating dealing with numbers, but that's not going to get him down, because at SummerSlam, he's going to get back his Intercontinental Championship, which actually it's Dolph's Intercontinental Championship now since he beat you multiple times. Anyways, he was then suddenly attacked and laid out by both Ziggler and McIntyre. They're really pushing the fact of the numbers game. So I think someone's going to show up either the week before or at SummerSlam. Maybe a big return. Maybe Dean Ambrose returns. And there you go. He helps Seth. So then we have Sasha Banks and Bayley taking on Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. And they do announce, Michael Cole says, this is the newly reformed Bayley and Sasha Banks. They're best friends again. And now they call themselves the Hug and Boss Connection. 817 in the chat here, or in the text message says, end of show. Were they fans chanting Roman or Strowman? I'm pretty sure it was Roman. We want Roman. We want Roman. I'm pretty sure. That's what others have said as well. So it was the Hug and Boss Connection against the Riott Squad. About 8-9 minute match here. The faces were in control before the break. The heels were in control after the break. Bayley made the hot tag and ran wild on Liv Morgan. Bayley gave her a Hurricane Rana off the top rope. Then Banks hit a dive off the top rope. Sorry for the background noise. The landscapers are here. Gardening, cutting grass. Anyways. Where was I? They had the match all but one, but Sarah Logan broke up the pinfall. They tossed her out of the ring. Banks gave Morgan a backstabber, and Bayley, it's kind of a cool double team finisher here. So Banks goes for the backstabber, and as she comes down, Liv Morgan bounces back up right into the arms of Bayley, and Bayley hits the Bayley to belly. Very, very good double team move there. It's just perfectly, they did it perfectly. It's like I said, you say you're Liv Morgan taking the move, so you're falling backwards, you take the backstabber, you pop right back up into the Bayley to belly. Boom, there you go. And Bayley gets the pin and the win. We then have Heyman backstage trying to convince Brock one last time. The show's almost over. You need to go out there. Just go out there. Say, hey Miami, bye Miami, we're done. That's all you gotta do. Then leave and go to a steakhouse or something. And basically just ignored him and was like, you got my money? And I'm like, you got your money? What is this, a mob scene all of a sudden? Freaking Brock's the mob boss? Anyways, go to commercial. Oh no, before that, he was just like, you need to go out there. I can't be your advocate anymore if you don't, because Kurt's going to fire me. And I need this. And Brock literally looks at him and goes, basically says, I don't give a damn about you. You do my dirty work. Like, he doesn't say this per se, but he's just like, you do my dirty work. And we're not friends. You work for me, not with me. Lesnar told Heyman, go to the ring and do your job. And Paul was just terrified and walked out. They then confirm Rousey versus Fox next week, as well as Bobby Roode versus Mojo Rawley. So Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin are in the ring, and Kurt's just basically like, I ain't gonna, just cut to the chase. I ain't gonna try and stand out here and say jibber jabber. Paul, Brock, get down here. Heyman comes out, and he's just like, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. And he's walking down to the ramp, gets up on the ring apron, and he points into the ring and goes, Kurt, may I? And he gets into the ring, and Kurt's all pissed. He's like, cut the crap. Where's Brock? And Paul's just like, he's not coming out. And Kurt's like, see, this is what's wrong. We need a real champ. We need somebody that comes out here week after week, willing to defend his title at any time at all costs, willing to do whatever it takes to make the WWE look good, to do things for the WWE Universe, to be the one that was willing to go out there and do the charity work, who was willing to go out there and do all the things for the company, be a face for the company. And, you know, he then says, you know, Brock is probably the worst Universal Champion of all time. But thinking about it, I mean, he might be, but he might not be. I mean, you've got Finn was a champ for less than 24 hours. Owens was a good Universal champ, one of the smarmy heel champs, but he was handed the title by Triple H, and then nothing came of that. Then you had Goldberg, who had the title for, a month? So it's like, I don't know. So he's just like, if he's not coming out here, your contract, Paul, is terminated. And Paul Heyman starts groveling, and he's begging, and he's pleading with Kurt Angle, holding on to his leg so he can't walk out of the ring. And Brock's music hits. Heyman then just gets this big grin on his face like, yes, I'm not fired. So Lesnar comes out. He gets in the ring. Crowd's booing the crap out of Brock. And he gets in Angle's face. And he's like, you got a problem with me, Kurt? And then he got in Corbin's face. Said the same thing. You got a problem with me? and nobody really said anything. And all of a sudden, Lesnar grabs Kurt and hits him with an F5. Heyman's over there looking all kinds of like, what's going on, but happy at the same time because it's not him taking the F5. And so Brock looks at Baron, and Corbin backs away. Brock gets closer to Corbin, so Corbin just says, screw this, I'm getting out the ring. So, you think it was all a ruse. You think it was all a ploy. It was all a game from Brock and Heyman. It was all done to throw Kurt off. Heyman's looking super happy, looking like the plan worked. We've got him. We did what we needed to do. And then all of a sudden, Brock grabs Paul. And he's got Paul by the face. And he's just yelling at Paul Heyman. He's just like, look, that could have been you. He's got him. He just got him by the face, by the throat. Just slowly bringing him down to the mat. Slower and slower and slower. Just like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, it wasn't the plan. Heyman sold it very well. Heyman was scared off his ass. And that's how Monday Night Raw ended. We then got a backstage segment where Mike Rome tried to interview Brock Lesnar, and he got attacked as well. So with that was Monday Night Raw. Very interesting stuff with Brock Lesnar. Especially there at the end where they're teasing Paul Heyman breaking off with Brock, or Brock breaking off with Paul, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if... I know a lot of you keep saying, well, who's going to be the new Paul Heyman guy? Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, who could be the new Paul Heyman guy? Maybe there isn't one, and Paul just leaves. Remember, last time Brock left, Heyman left. So, Heyman doesn't, he likes working for WWE, but it's not like he needs it, because these guys looking for Larry agency, and he does a lot of good things there, the Heyman Hustle and all that, so it's not like he needs the job. He's got other means of work. So we'll see how it all does go down at SummerSlam in just 3 weeks, well, actually less than 3 weeks. But thank you guys for joining me here today for the Monday Night Raw review. We'll be live again tonight following SmackDown Live, not at 9 p.m. Pacific. We're actually going to be going an hour earlier, around 8 to 10 Pacific time. Times are going to fluctuate from now until probably the end of the year. Got some family obligations and things. So most Mondays and Tuesdays will now be going live around 8. And then Wednesdays, maybe 8 or keep it at 9. We'll see how that does work out. But as of right now, tonight's SmackDown Live review will be live at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for joining me here. You can find me at Timmy Buddy on Twitch and Twitter. You can follow PWUnlimited, Pro Wrestling Unlimited, right here on YouTube. At PWUnlimited on Twitter, Pro Wrestling ULTD on Facebook, and also check out our buddies over there at Fightful, Fightful.com, FightfulWrestling.com, Fightful Select, Fightful Scraps. They've got a lot of different things, and you can just follow them on Twitter if you want, at Fightful, at Fightful Online, or no, it's at Fightful Online, at Fightful Wrestling, at Fightful MMA, at Fightful Boxing. Go follow them. Thank you guys again for joining me here for this late Monday Night Raw review on a Tuesday. And we'll see you tonight after SmackDown. Have a good night, guys. Or good rest of your day.